In today's video, we'll look into 360-degree underwater video using the Insta360 X4. Let's discover together how such a camera is different to traditional action cams, like for example a GoPro, what the benefits of using 360-degree video underwater are, what the best settings are to shoot underwater, and how you can utilize such a camera best to capture your underwater adventures. Right after the intro. Welcome back to the channel, you underwater image makers out there. If you're new here, my name is Matthias and I'm an underwater cinematographer and content creator. This channel here is all about teaching you guys how to best capture your underwater adventures and to share my experiences with all types of different underwater camera gear that I regularly test and review for you. So if you're into filming underwater, hit that subscribe button and stay up to date with all things important about the topic of underwater image making. I went down to the lake the other day to capture a few example shots for you using the new Insta360 X4, presumably the best and most user-friendly 360-degree action camera on the market to date. A huge thank you goes out to Insta360 for sponsoring this video. By providing the X4 and a bunch of accessories to me, they are the ones making it possible for me to create this video for you. They are also offering great bundles on the Insta360 X4 at the moment and selected gifts like a free invisible selfie stick when using the affiliate link in the video description below to place your order. 360-degree consumer cameras have been around for a few years already, yet not very many of us are using them underwater for a variety of different reasons. I think the main reasons in the past have been the less than ideal image quality and the stitching issues most 360-degree action cams have when used underwater. At least those were my two biggest complaints in the past and the reason why I stopped using 360-degree cameras. It seems like Insta360 has resolved those problems by introducing 8K to the X4, giving us the highest resolution in any 360-degree consumer camera to date. 8K sounds like a lot, and it is, but because on a 360-degree camera the resolution is spread out over the entire 360 degrees, a higher resolution is beneficial and will result in a slightly sharper image. This is not game-changing, but definitely nice to have and a good improvement. And by using their invisible dive case in addition with their AI-supported stitching correction inside their mobile or desktop app, most of the stitching issues that I have encountered in the past seem to be gone. That is very good news. Before I show you some more example footage taken with the X4, let's look at how using a 360-degree camera underwater is different to using a regular action cam and what the potential benefits are. Firstly, using the X4, you'll be recording 360 degrees, which also gives you a field of view of 360 degrees as opposed to the approximate 150 degrees you get on a regular action cam. The big advantage of this is obviously that you can choose your frame later in post. You don't really have to worry about missing the action because you framed the shot poorly. Just shoot and pick whichever section you like best in post. Easy. Secondly, with the X4, you basically carry several cameras with you combined in one. You can use it like a normal action cam by enabling the single lens mode, which will give you an outstanding 170 degrees field of view. Use the 360-degree video mode for maximum freedom in post. Use Me mode to keep you automatically in the center of the frame, or place it somewhere with the tripod on and move around it to capture some behind the scenes shots. I also love using this to get some B-roll of me testing new gear or trying new techniques underwater. It's like having an assistant with me at all times who can take shots of me when needed. This is incredibly useful to me, as I oftentimes don't have a buddy with me who can capture B-roll of me. In general, the flexibility that comes with recording 360 degrees around the camera is awesome, as it minimizes the risk of missing that once-in-a-lifetime shot of the whale shark passing by because you had the camera pointed the wrong way. And third, the invisible selfie stick is truly amazing and really enhances the feeling of a third-person view. The only thing you have to do is make sure that the invisible selfie stick is lined up properly with the camera, and off you go. The software takes care of removing the selfie stick, and you are good to capture realistic looking third-person view shots. Pretty awesome. All these things are either not possible with a traditional action cam or only achieved with great difficulty, and make the Insta360 X4 so incredibly useful for capturing creative and very unique shots. So why are not more divers using 360-degree cameras? Well, I guess because they don't know about the benefits enough or are unsure about how to best use it underwater. So here are a few ideas. Make use of the invisible selfie stick feature to show how you descend below the surface and or ascend after you dive. Use the 11K time-lapse feature underwater. Place your X4 in an interesting place with enough action around it. Record a time-lapse and add a panning motion in post. Use hand gestures to start and stop recording. I love this feature for taking shots of me while testing new gear, as I can place the camera in a good spot once and don't have to swim back and forth to start and or stop recording. Saves quite a bit of memory space too. Use the 8K time shift feature to record a really cool looking hyperlapse, which you can customize in post by adding extra movement to it. Zoom all the way out in post to create the tiny planet effect. These are just a few of the creative options the Insta360 X4 offers. It's really your creativity that sets the boundaries. The cool thing about action cameras in general is that they are easy to use and pretty much ready to go out of the box without having to spend a lot of time learning how to use the camera. And that definitely also applies to the Insta360 X4. Nevertheless, I'd like to share my favorite settings with you in case you were wondering how to optimize your results underwater. Shoot in 8K, as this gives you the highest resolution possible and enough details when picking a specific frame from the entire 360-degree image recorded. Personally, I would always use 8K, but Insta360 recommends to use 8K in shallow water and switch to 5.7K in deeper water. Go ahead and try out both to see which setting you like better. Keep the exposure on auto, as this will ensure best exposure results, especially when lighting conditions are changing, like they often do underwater as you go deeper or come up shallower. Use the profile standard or flat, depending on whether you want to be able to quickly share your shots or seriously color correct and grade your footage in post. Use the high bitrate setting, as this will ensure for highest quality video. Set sharpness to medium for a natural looking image. Should you find it too soft, you can always add sharpness in post. Using the best settings is one thing, but knowing how to actually use a 360-degree camera underwater is a completely different story. Here's a couple of tips that you might find useful. Get as much light into your scenes as possible. This means preferably staying shallow and using the camera on sunny, clear days. But be careful with direct sunlight, as it might reflect off the dome lens of the housing, causing some weird reflections and flares. Even though you're free to pick whatever frame you want in post, be aware that for best results you want to have the camera physically positioned between your main object and the sun. To avoid unpleasant flares caused by sunlight reflections off of your dome lens, try holding the camera sideways so the lenses are pointing to either side rather than up and down. Use some movement in your shots to make them more dynamic, whether that is actually moving the camera through the water or adding a pan or tilt movement in post. Absolutely use the invisible selfie stick to include yourself and your dive buddies into your shots. It will make your shots a lot more interesting than just showing the underwater world and will make it easier for you to use the shots to tell a story. Watch the distance between your object and the Insta360 X4. Because the two lenses don't overlap right on the camera, you will need to keep a minimum distance of around 3 to 4 feet, 1 meter between the X4 and your object. That way you can ensure best stitching results. Get the invisible dive case for use underwater. Not only will it help you protect your camera, but it is crucial for good stitching results. I highly recommend not to use the X4 underwater without the invisible dive case. The results will not be satisfying. And last but not least, use Aquavision 2.0 in the desktop or mobile app. It is the easiest and probably quickest way to improve the color in your underwater shots. I hope you found this video useful and it gave you a few ideas and some motivation to start experimenting with 360-degree video underwater. The Insta360 X4 is the perfect companion for that journey. Thanks again to Insta360 for sponsoring this video. Should you want to learn more about how to improve your underwater video skills, check out these videos over here next. Have a great week, keep capturing your underwater adventures, and I'll catch you in the next one.